connect. If you're just joining me, know that my name is Sitara. I am ranked top 5 female psychic in the United States by the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums. I have been doing this sort of psychic work since I was just a little one, but more professionally since I was about 21. And then, of course, I've been teaching other people how to develop their own abilities, also as an intuitive business coach, for years now. Years. So it brings me so much joy to be able to connect here with you, offering these live readings, offering these live connections and channeled messages to simply see what comes through. So I believe that as we are here today, as we are connecting with each other, that you are watching this at exactly the right time for you. So it doesn't matter if you're here with me live, it doesn't matter if you're here 5 years from now. Just trust that the timing of this message is landing with you at exactly the right time. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and light my incense here and just simply set the space. And what I mean by setting the space is that we are creating an energetic 5th dimensional container. So even though you're not sitting here with me right now, we are going to be connecting our energetic bodies in a vast field. It's kind of like a 5th dimensional address, if you will. So as I create that space, please feel free to very gently set your intention of what it is that you would like to be able to experience, what you would like to be able to receive. Hello, Danielle. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's take a couple nice big deep breaths together. I'm going to go ahead. I guess I'll have it where you can see it. And as we call in divine truth and love into the sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every viewer, replayer, and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. All right, and let's just simply take a couple really big, nice deep breaths. I know I keep saying that, but it's very important for us to be grounded, connected, honoring the truth of our own divinity within, allowing all that is moving through for us to happen gracefully, to happen easily, and to just give us a really, really beautiful transition from where it is that we are now and where we will be, let's say, at the end of this call. I do recommend, if you can, to be here through the entire duration. We will complete the entire cycle at the end. You can also kind of skip around if you feel that you just want to watch a little bit here and a little bit there, that there are messages for you in that way. But ultimately, you're going to get the most out of this if you can listen to it in a meditative state. And that meditative state, just simply allowing what needs to move through gently and easily. I'm a big fan of gentle growth and gentle healing. If you've been on the healing path for any amount of time, you'll know that it can be a little bit treacherous. It can start to get a little bit crazy and emotionally, you can feel unstable and all sorts of things go up and down and all around. And so that's why we call it in gentle grace and gentle ease as best we can. So with that, Danielle, are you open to doing a reading? And if there's anyone else here that would like to do a reading, go ahead and let me know in the comments. But Danielle, if you are ready, we can go ahead and just jump in and start there. Okay, beautiful. I'm seeing this really, it's really beautiful energy. There's like a really beautiful, like white, it's almost like a collar, but it's a collar that's coming up from like half of your body. It's this really white, beautiful light, and it looks like it is illuminating you. It's picking you up. There is something with the white light though. Let's see, that isn't necessarily allowing you to fully see yourself clearly. It's not allowing you to see the full like inner intricacies of your full being. The other thing that I'm seeing is that your feet are, it's almost like your feet are in cement. So where you're rising and you're wanting to move forward and go up, but there's something going on with the feet here. And this is something that it's interesting. I've been like seeing this almost as like a theme happening in some of these sessions. And oftentimes with the feet, anything that's going on with the feet or even sometimes knees is this fear of moving forward, this fear of actually moving on to the next step. And what is that next step? And so what I'm seeing here is like there's a desire to ascend, there's a desire to move up in frequency, there's a desire to accelerate and a desire to transcend even some of the human experiences that you've been having. But one of the things here that I am seeing very clearly, it's a reminder for all of us that when we get onto the spiritual path as I call it, I have never found anything more spiritual than owning and running your own business, to be totally honest. And putting yourself in front of other people, having something that you have to share with them in whatever way, shape, or form that looks for you. But what I'm seeing with this is that as you're stepping onto the growth path, or as you're stepping into more exploration of spiritual understandings and spiritual teachings, there's a tendency that we have to want to bypass the human experience. And that is like, it's like the worst thing that we can do for ourselves. I have done it, and I have come back around, and I have witnessed myself doing it again sometimes, because like the human experience is really hard. It's just really hard. It's really challenging. There's so many times that we want to give up. There's so many, but what we can't, right? It's like we're in it. We can't go anywhere. We're here and we're experiencing it, and we're participating in the way that serves us in our highest best as best we can. And so when we jump onto the spiritual path, there's and I've been a part of this like spiritual communities in all different places all over the world for various points of time, and I've seen this across all of them. And what I've noticed is that the desire to bypass the human experience, it's a desire to like step onto a pedestal and not actually participate in what it means to be human, and not actually participate in what it means to be a part of this entire composition of what has been made up. Now, I will also say for myself that I have been called in certain places on the planet at certain times in my life to really go within and cultivate different tools, have different experiences, bring soul memories to the surface, activate soul consciousness, integrate it into my awareness in this human body. Like I've had all these experiences that have been really important, and then every single time I'm directed back into what I would call 3D. I'm directed back into going into this field where there's a lot of density, and there's a lot of darkness, and there's a lot of chaos, and there's a lot of manipulation, and there's a lot of like all these things that we want to bypass when we get into the spiritual path, thinking that, well, we just need to ascend and we just need to feel good. Yes, that's very true. Yes, it's very true. And what's important to do is to be able to learn how to ascend and feel really good in the third dimension, in your human body, experiencing the human emotions, to feel deeply, to nurture deeply, to participate deeply, to not bypass, to encourage, to lean in, to feel more. And so that part right there, we want to be really, really careful. And this even happened for me when I had stopped drinking for the first time. I had a really, really powerful drinking habit, we'll say, that started when I was very young as by means to escape. I wanted to get away from the pain that I was feeling in my body. And so in my early to mid 20s, I started going, okay, like I actually need to cut this out. This is really not working for me. But what I did notice is that when I stopped drinking, I was like, oh, that person just doesn't exist anymore. It was almost like I was able to just like draw a line in the sand and was like, nope, that was yesterday. That was not me. That was just not the thing. And then what happened was 7 months of sobriety later, I ended up getting into another relationship, and this man embodied all the parts of my shadow that I had rejected because I did not integrate it. I just simply dissociated from it. And so I had to go back in and participate in what I was avoiding really paying attention to. And simultaneously, that break of sobriety, I also really, really needed to get a grip on things. So it's like it all happens cyclically in a cycle that honors us and where it is that we need to go. And what's really important is that when we are in these human bodies and when we are experiencing what it means to live on this planet, what it means to live in the third dimension, it's that we're not here to be holier than thou. We're here to be absolutely sovereign in our authenticity as who we came here to be. In whatever way, shape, or form that looks for you, whatever constellation that opens up and looks for you. I've recently, hi Zoe. I've recently done a couple videos on taking off the mask and really leaning into genuine authenticity. I have seen so many people on the spiritual path create an identity. We're not here to create identities. We're not here to just simply shift from one style into the next because we now have a morning practice. That's not what this is about. So when we get into this space where we want to ascend and we want to move forward and we want to connect in with the true of our authentic frequency, the truth of our authentic vibration, the practice of this is actually integrating fractured human experiences. And so as we integrate these fractured human experiences, we come back to a place of wholeness. I'm having a really strong deja vu right now, and I remember dreaming this exact moment in this exact villa that I'm in. So when we're bringing these fractured parts of ourselves back into wholeness, and we're allowing ourselves to see the parts of ourselves that we've rejected or that we've simply dissociated from by means of survival, which is really common. And none of this, there's no blame, shame, guilt, or punishment with any of it. It's simply acknowledging, well, this is what my egoic constructs were able to handle when I was 8 years old. And this is what they weren't able to handle. So now when you get to an emotional capacity where you can go back and integrate them, then we are able to see ourselves in a more complete version or a more whole version than we were before. Cora, I see that you just said, what is a deja vu? What do you think about that? For me, it feels like I'm checking into a point in a parallel time or parallel reality. Like I said, I remember dreaming this. So when I walk into, and to be completely transparent, I've had one of those mornings where I almost feel like I'm walking in a dream. Like things, I know that I'm here and I know that I'm being human and I know that I'm doing these things. There's also a really, really heavy storm here on Bali. And so there's a part of me that feels that I'm going through a bigger shift. And so when I'm going through a bigger shift, there's sometimes like anchor points that show up. And when those anchor points show up, to me, that's a deja vu. It's just a confirmation that that things are on the right path, that things are in the right direction, that things are aligned, that all is well, that all is good, that, just kind of keep going. It's almost like a marker, like a check-in point. Kind of how I like to experience it, but then you notice that I pause. Like I like to pause when it happens to really let myself feel into whatever information is there for me to receive or to connect with or to feel, because I do think that deja vus are very, very powerful. And to clarify, a deja vu it's the sensation of you've been here before. It's a sensation that something, it's like a pocket where all of a sudden it feels very, very, very familiar. But in the sense that you've lived that moment before, the sensation or the feels or Like I've lived in this villa for 2 weeks now, not very long. And so if I've lived in this villa for 2 weeks, but I'm having a deja vu, I know that it wasn't like something, a memory of something that I've had here. This is actually like a sensation or a feeling that I have had, knowing that I remembered the dream. I remember that in the dream there was the villa. I haven't had that check-in with this particular villa yet. So I was sitting into that, I was feeling into that, knowing, okay, that there are things that are in there, that are things that are in perfect alignment. And so there's things that are in my life right now where I'm like, okay, what is important? What do I need to focus on? What is starting to leap? Because like I said, I am in a really big transition right now. I am definitely shifting in a quantum leap sort of way. I've prayed and been asking for acceleration. It's happening. I can feel it. And so for me, it's nice to have those little grounding anchor points where it's like, yep, click, keep going. Yep, click, keep going. Yep, click, keep going. Because sometimes I feel like I'm just playing like a spiritual scavenger hunt, to be honest. Sometimes I keep feeling like I get these clues here and I get these clues there and I'm just following my intuition, but I can't see more than 2 feet ahead of me or 2 steps ahead of me. I don't know what's on the horizon. I just know that what is right in front of me and what the next right move is. And that's all that I can really do. And I just kind of like, shrug sometimes. I know where my heart is. I know where my heart is aligned. I know where my mind is aligned. I know that I'm willing to face all of the parts inside of me that most people would run 1,000 miles an hour in the opposite direction for them to see inside of themselves. This is not new to me by any means, which is why I like to share it with so many other people. So that when we face the parts within ourselves, we're actually able to accelerate. I'll share a fun story with you. When I hired my first business coach, I paid $25,000 for the year. I just had a feeling, like I had a premonition or I had a feeling that I was going to be his biggest success story out of that year. And I didn't necessarily know what that meant, sort of thing. And I was the youngest in the group by at least 10 years, if not 15 or more. This was 2016. I think I was like 26 when I first hired him. And by the end of that year, I had sold out my full year $25,000 mastermind coaching program. I decided to launch my own $25,000 mastermind coaching program. And I sold it out. Everyone in the group was like, how did you do that? Like, you have not been doing this very long. Like, how did you do that? Well, a few things. I was willing to face myself. I was willing to face where I was limiting. I was willing to not lie to myself. A lot of us, like, we're so casually lying to ourselves. We're so casually lying to ourselves that we don't even know that we're lying to ourselves. So the first thing is we just want to be honest with ourselves. Like, if you're hiding from yourself, better that you know it than you don't know it. If you're procrastinating or if you're dissociating, if you're bypassing, it's better that you know it than you don't know it. So when you start to face those things, you start to like be able to move through what the blocks are and the things that you are holding on to that are holding you back. And so as I mentioned, like, I know that I'm going through a quantum leap because I am going through ancestral DNA, and I'm going through up levels of my cellular memory. My body's having all sorts of weird symptoms from it. And this is how I know. This is how I know it's working, is that my physical body is showing symptoms of my cells changing. My voice sounds a little bit funny. I'm having, when I wake up, I'm like, okay, there's like, I'm body scanning. I'm like, okay, there's this thing going on. It's okay. It's all part of it. It's all moving. It's all going through. So when we look at these things, and this is again why we pray for ease and grace, because when you jump onto the spiritual path or you jump into like, I want to start healing, there's so many layers to these things that start happening. Now, the second reason that I was able to launch and sell out my program, because I do want to talk about this part, I didn't use any fancy launch strategies. I didn't have like a copywriter. I didn't have a marketing team. Like I was doing it all by myself. And I had no prior experience with this. I was a trained psychologist and psychic. So I didn't have like that. But what I did do was I sat on top of a cliff. I'm from Reno, Nevada, and we have really big mountains around there. So I sat on top of a cliff during a full moon, and I sat at the edge of that cliff, and I closed my eyes. At that point, I had been channeling angels really consistently for about 4 years. And the angels were actually the ones that told me to do the Earth Angels program. They gave me the blueprint. They were like, this is what you're going to do. And I was like, no. I was super resistant. I was like, no, I'm not. You can't make me. I don't want to do it. And it got to the point where it's like, you have to do it. Like, this is part of your destiny. This is why you are here. You're going to do it. And so I, finally surrendered to that mission. And as I was sitting on the cliff, I called in my angels and I asked for them to basically connect me to the people that I am soul contracted to work with through this program. And I could very easily see the 8 show up, because I was like, if you guys are showing me that this is a destiny-centered thing, then that means that the people are already in it. And if time doesn't only exist in a linear form, then that means that these people have already enrolled. And if that means that these people have already enrolled, then they already know, and I already know. So intuitively, they're going to be drawn to it. Intuitively, I'm going to know who it is. And of course, I still went through the process of having, 30 to 40 sales calls, and, went through the birth canal of actually bringing everybody in, and it was a really profound experience. But the reason that I'm bringing that up here is because I was able to do that. The prices that I was charging before, I was charging $1,800 for a 3-month package. And I went from an $1,800 to a $25,000 package. I think I was like 27 when I did this. And so I just, like, that was a quantum leap in and of itself. That was a quantum jump. It was like, boom, like, let's go. I was able to be making consistently over 5 figures a month, which was incredible. And then above that, shifted into a completely different status. And I knew that my life was going to change and all these things. Through that process, deja vus, weird body things, all of it. So, like I said, I'm sharing these stories with you because when we choose to really actually embody a growth center, I don't even want to call it spiritual. Like, people ask me if I'm spiritual. I'm like, what does that even mean? I connect to the spirit world. Yes. I am a spirit in a body. Yes. Do I do I have Ganesh on my altar? Yes. Do I understand what sage does? Yes. Does that make me spiritual? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I've also been called a hippie. I'm like, am I a hippie? I don't know what a hippie is. It's, who knows? We pick these labels. But ultimately, the part that really matters, the labels don't matter. The identity doesn't matter. The image you create doesn't matter. The mala beads that you wear, they don't matter. All these things, they're not. They're symbols, great. But the real truth comes from the core of your own internal well-being and your own internal sovereignty that you embody by accepting yourself in your wholeness as you be and as you are. When you do that, by default, you don't have as much judgment for other people. You are like more accepting, you are more loving, you are more compassionate, because you have found and discovered that what you have needed at every single twist and turn was the sensation of being held in a compassionate, nurturing embrace at every single step of the traumatic experiences that you have had. And so with every failure and with every breakdown and with every this didn't work, whatever it all is, you really start to feel the sensation of what it means to be human. And if all other humans have very similar emotions, and what we all want is to be deeply loved, to be deeply seen, and to be deeply appreciated, then we can offer that bit of understanding to others. And we can hold them well in our own true grace. Ana ia uatana ia haakapu ukunu uasasa ia na akanakia akanakia. Anakai uapua ka ana ia uapua haaka. I sana ia tana ia uapua ka. The true power of your journey, the true power of your, we'll say, spiritual journey, the true power of it comes from embodiment. This is why the course, the 7 weeks to embody your higher self, has been so life-changing for so many people, because we're not embodied. We're not embodied, and we don't know how to become aware or conscious of our spirit body and what that means to actually embody it. So when you're able to feel inside of yourself what it means to be whole and what it means to feel yourself inside of your physical form, and to be very conscious that your mind, your egoic identity, is just a teeny tiny sliver of the makeup of your totality. And the thing that we have really backwards in this world is that is such a strong attachment to the egoic identity. But the way that you think you are is not who you are. It's part of the programming. It's part of the lessons that you got taught when you were little by your primary caregivers. It's part of the media programming. It's part of the viral and systemic programming. It's all programming. So the coming back to yourself, that internal place of embodiment in your own health and well-being, is what changes everything. And again, that's why the 7 weeks to embody your higher self course, which I highly recommend, it's in the link tree of the description of all the videos I've posted in the last 6 months. You can find it there. I highly recommend trying it out. And the reason that I say it will change your life is because what it does is it peels away the veil. It peels away the veil, and it peels away another layer of the veil of who you think you are, but not by me telling you who you are, by me leading and holding space of a channel. It's like holding space, holding room for you to safely start to disrobe these identities that you thought you were, or you think you have to be in order to XYZ. And so when you start to peel these things away and you feel into the core of the essence, the truth of that divine divinity, that essence of the divine frequency that is embodied in the core of your being, and you realize that it doesn't matter what you wear. Can you please repeat that comment? I missed it. It doesn't matter what you wear. It doesn't even really matter who you're hanging out with or these things. What does matter is the frequency that you are embodying and the frequency that you are surrounding yourself with. So when you start to navigate the world in frequency and vibration, it's when things will really start to change. The awareness of the depth of what we came here to be and what we came here to embody starts to become the forefront of the awareness in everyday life. And if it's at the forefront of the awareness in everyday life, then you're able to see yourself differently, and you're able to see those around you differently. And that is actually when life gets easier. You stop addicting yourself to struggle. You stop addicting yourself to pain. You stop addicting yourself to the viral and systemic programming. It's not easy to pull all these masks off, and it's not easy to break out of these molds, and it's not easy to change your belief systems. But I will tell you right now that I would say a majority of the belief systems that you have aren't even true. Akora, processing rage, yeah, my love. We did the reading a couple weeks ago, right? In here, there was a lot that came through. I'm not surprised to hear that you're practicing a lot of rage. Yes. Danielle, the more that you embody it, right? You say, I hope I'll think of that when I wake up in the morning. The more that you embody it, the more it just becomes the natural direction that thoughts move in. That's why it's like, I keep saying embodiment. It's so important. That we're not here to just channel our higher self. We are here to embody our higher self. We are here to embody. And I have a caveat even on the landing page that tells you all about it. It's one of the most frequently asked questions, or one of the things that I was thinking of. I was like, can I really make a promise that within 7 weeks somebody is going to be able to fully embody their higher self? And for me, the answer is a hard and fast yes. And the reason for this is that you are actually already embodied in your higher self. It isn't like a part of you that you need to like reach up and grab out of nowhere. But what is important for you to do, Cassandra, wrapping you in angel wings, my love, I hope your heart feels better soon. But what we need to do is not like pull this imaginary part of ourselves that we think is our higher self that's somewhere outside of us out of the air and like try to figure out how to wiggle it into our body. That's not what this is. The embodiment is actually the understanding that all of you and everything that you need is in your body. But what we need is a reminders of the keys of how to unlock these parts of ourselves that we haven't yet accessed because we have been so deeply programmed not to understand or not to connect with the absolute power of who we be and who we are. So it's a remembering, it is a peeling away, it is a releasing of the masks, it is ego death after ego death after ego death after ego death. And depending on how unwilling we are to face ourselves through every single life experience by means of, are we avoiding, are we running, are we reacting, are we bypassing? You can't really actually bypass and you can't really avoid it. You're just prolonging more pain. You're just prolonging more suffering. So if you slow down and pause and let yourself feel into the sensations of what's going on through every challenge, and through every, like you guys saw me, deja vu, okay, pause. What am I here to receive? What am I here to listen for? Doesn't matter if I'm here doing a live and serving here. Like for me, it's okay, I can take a moment. I can breathe, I can receive what I need to receive because there's medicine in it for me. And there's medicine in it for you, there's medicine in it for all of us. It's the pause. Always take a breath in the pause. But we have become so deeply programmed to be addicted to our own drama. We've been so deeply programmed to be addicted to our own struggle and our own pain and our own victimization. And it is by no fault of our own, but it is by our full responsibility to our own health and well-being that we see this for ourselves, that we honor this for ourselves. That we give ourselves more permission to be free in our own skin as we are in all of our disgrace and all of our judge-worthy content and all of whatever it is that we've done that have hurt or harmed ourselves or others. And we've all done these things. And so we breathe and we forgive. Danielle, thank you so much for volunteering to bring a lot of this information forward. What I'm going to do is save about 10 minutes at the end to lead us through a cleansing and clearing transmission that's going to help really anchor and bring all of this together. Because Grace, I do want to read you as well. So I'll read you and then, go into, oh, Danielle, I love you too. Thank you so much. I appreciate your presence and your being here. You guys, all your kind words and support, they mean so much more to me than you know. It is not always easy to be going through my own process and holding space for myself, going through a quantum leap and showing up and doing these lives and having these goals of, bringing this message out to many and oftentimes feeling like I'm alone doing it. So all of your messages, all your support, all your well wishes, all of your prayers, it sounds funny, but all your likes, shares, and comments. Like, it's so funny, but it really helps. It means the world to me, so I appreciate it so much more than you know. All right, Grace. Okay, Grace, you are living through some pretty intense past life karma that I'm seeing. I'm just gonna grab my handy dandy incense here and use and invoke the energy of fire to move through some of this. I'm gonna read it as I'm looking at it. What I see is like I see a giant axe like coming through the center of your body. And first I saw the axe and then I was like, okay, are you holding it or is somebody else holding the axe? And ultimately, when we go through any life experience, it's really us doing it to ourselves. We want to think that it's somebody else doing it to us, but as long as we're agreeing to be in that position, then we're really doing it to ourselves. So, little caveat. But what I'm seeing with this is that there's actually some past life karma coming up. There are some karmic debts that are being paid. And so I'm seeing that that's where there's a lot of real intense discomfort in your body and with like what's going on in your world, in your life. So let's go ahead and just do a prayer. Let's all just clear some karmic debt, huh? Huh? Let's do that. Let's do that. Group healing for all of us. All right, so let's go. Let's do some tapping. Like what part of my toolbox am I gonna bring out now? Let's do some tapping. Okay, if you've watched a couple, I've been incorporating this more into some of my videos. Tapping is EFT. We tap on inside of the eyebrows, on the sides of the eyes, under the nose, on top of the chin, on the collarbone, right under the arm where the bra strap goes, and then crown of the head. So, yes, Cassandra, you're on board. Let's do some karmic healing. Sounds good. Okay, so let's take a couple nice big deep breaths. Connect your root chakra all the way into the center of the planet. Okay. I just heard very clearly, just trust that it's all going to be taken care of, sweet girl. So feeling into that space within for yourself, where you're feeling panicky of what's going to happen or unsure or this, that, or the other. Just like really be clear with yourself that you are here, you are powerful, you are present, you are beautiful, you are so resourceful, you are so intelligent, you are so intellectual. Rough patches happen. We're all going through a big transition, and I really believe, and even be like, you're here for a reason, right? We made it into this little teeny tiny bubble today to have this chat together. We're all here going through a big transition. It's not just me. Like, you're here because you're like, I'm going through a big transition to help. I don't know what's going on. Okay, cool. We're in it together. We're in it together, my friends. So let's go ahead and do some tapping. And just start on the karate chop point. Let's go. Even though, and just repeat after me, even though I'm going through a really big transition, and at some points I don't really know what to do, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And even though at points there is a really critical voice inside of my head that is judging me and telling me I'm not good enough and telling me that I'm stupid or that I've made bad decisions. And this voice, it really beats me up sometimes. Even though that's there, I deeply and completely love and accept all parts of me. Even though I've signed up to be in this world, to be a human at this time, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And even though I didn't know it was going to be this hard, there's a bigger part of me that I am connecting to that has the wisdom and guidance that lets me know that I am ready for whatever it is that has come my way. And I deeply and completely love and accept myself. You can now go to the eyes. All of this confusion, all of this struggle, all of the internal blame, under the nose. Wow, I'm really good at self-punishment. I'm actually really mean to myself on the inside when no one else is listening. That voice in my head that tells me I'm not good enough. That voice in my head that tells me I'm a burden and that it's best to stay quiet. That voice in my head that thinks something is wrong with me. All these thoughts, so many thoughts running through my head. Sometimes I hear these thoughts and I just want to scream. And I tell myself it's okay to scream. It's okay to get it all out. Sometimes I don't want to get it out. Sometimes I want to stay stuck in my misery. Oh, this addiction to struggle. Oh, this addiction to pain. I clear it out of my DNA and cellular memories now. All karmic debts, all karmic debts, all karmic debts are now being paid and clear. They're now being paid in full and clear now. I am choosing to transcend the wheel of karma as I feel my addiction to struggle and pain. The areas of my life where I have felt that I am a burden to others, or that others owe me just simply for existing, or that I owe anybody else. All karmic debts are being cleared now. I surrender to my highest power as I know my highest power is within me. All karmic debts are being paid now and are fully being released from my DNA and cellular memory. Etana ia kuapu ukunakai. Isana iaka anake kia waha akapu. Ia tana ia tini ia haaka nake. Atanaya iaku ukunakai. Ia tanaya ia kini awa haakapu unuku uku asasana haakanaki. I ana ia wapu uku. I sasanai diniki awa haakapu nu uapua haakanaki ia kanaki awapu. Ususu unu ukupu na haaka. I tanakai. I wa uapu pupu nakai. I kua haakanasai. Ia ana ia kuapu ukuana haaka. I kana ia wa haakapu uku susua. Ia nai I kanai. As I upgrade and consciously choose to release all debts of karma from my DNA and cellular memory. I choose to walk forward in my own sovereignty, embodying my full higher self. And take a couple nice big deep breaths. How are you feeling? Do you feel the tingles? Do you feel the energy moving through your body? We're going to do another round. I like to do 2 rounds, one where we're clearing out and another one where we're filling up. And before we connect into this one where we're filling up, I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you're calling in? What is it that you want to bring into your world? Beautiful. You had a profound experience with the last transmission. Yes, I have too. You want to bring in more love and kindness. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. And I apologize if I miss any comments when my eyes were closed. I grow with you through every single one of these. Every transmission that I lead, it's coming through my body. So that's why I feel like doing these lives more consistently. It's like, man, it's putting me into hyperdrive as well. And Akora, acceptance, peace, beautiful. So let's go ahead and take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe rub the palms of your hands together and just feel your body. Put your hands on your body, just feel yourself. Let yourself know that you're here, that you've got you, that you're fortifying your connection with yourself. Beautiful, and connect in. Again, rooting from your root chakra all the way down to the center of the planet. And just simply let go. Let go, let go, let go. All right, beautiful. Let's just go ahead and start with the eyebrow. I feel really ready to receive love. I'm receiving more joy. I'm receiving more self-acceptance. All parts of me are open to receiving. I see my worth in this life. I see that there is a really unique and special place for me to be activated in my full expression. I allow all parts of me to be open to receiving that which is aligned with my highest golden timeline. I recognize that my highest golden timeline was set up and available to me before I even incarnated. I activate my free will to choose the timeline of my absolute highest and best. My life experience that is beautiful in true form. That is powerful in true form. That is blissful in true form. As I shed viral beliefs and viral programming, I experience more of who I truly am. I experience all parts of me in my wide open, true, expansive form. Letting go of limits, letting go of limiting beliefs, hidden sabotaging agendas are brought to the surface and loved and accepted now. Bringing in new light into your world, bringing in new light into your love. Ia tanana uapu kua akanakai, ia kanakai wa uapu kukunakai. I tuanakai, akuanaki, iki anakai. I kuanakai, I kuanakai. I kuanakai wa uapunaku, uapunakai, I kanakia, akanakai. I puanakai, I uapu kua. Anakai, I kua, uakanaha, akanakai, I sisiania. All pathways are open to accelerated support, service, and guidance. As I deeply receive, love, and accept all parts of me. Take a nice big deep breath. Ya nai uapuaka nai iawa uapuana aya uapuana kai. I anai iawa uapu ukua haaka sasanaya iawa. All right, so what is feeling right and natural for me right now? As I was tapping and being, my hair always gets so funny when we do this. But as we were tapping, I was being shown and encouraged to share a little bit more about cosmic bloom. So what I'm going to actually ask for us to do is if you all would join me in the process that I shared with you a little bit ago about how I called in the support for the Earth Angels program. But rather what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of lead us through what I would do by myself. But because you're here and I appreciate your love and support so much, a couple of the ways that you can support me, because as I am in this period of transition of shifting my offerings and doing more of these videos, it's gotten quite exciting. There's a lot of faith happening here. And Cassandra, you feel lighter. I'm so happy to hear that. You can come back and listen to this again, even just coming back and listening to the tapping again as many times as you like. So yes, thank you. All right, so are you on board with doing a little bit of calling in and a manifestation practice with me that I'm going to do because this is how I like to do it. So I'm launching this Cosmic Bloom, which I would love for all of you to join and participate. Cosmic Bloom is, there's 2 different memberships where you can participate with more in-depth, very small, well, at this point, smaller private group connections and readings where we're actually on Zoom and we get to interact for the Pearl program. Then we have the Diamond Rose program, which is the Metaphysical Club as it is now. So it's the advanced level psychic development training. But with that, there's a monthly membership. With the monthly membership, each and every single person gets the opportunity to become an affiliate. So what that means is that you will then have your own unique link to be able to share and invite other people in, and when they join, you get monthly, ongoing, recurring commissions. So it is actually a way for you to be able to receive monthly commissions of things that are coming in your way. I created this maybe about a month ago, and then Spirit told me, like, hold. Don't keep pushing it, don't keep creating it, like, hold it and integrate it inside of yourself. So I've just been gently holding it, and now they're showing me, okay, it's time to start bringing people in, it's time to start talking about it, it's time to start sharing it. So that feels really good. Each and every one of you are invited. So yes, please. The thing is that I've been really challenged with Google ads. I've been really challenged with Facebook ads. I'm having another deja vu right now. So great signs, good things are coming. But I've been really challenged with Facebook ads, really challenged with YouTube and Google ads. And I've been saying for years. I had an account on Facebook that had over 100,000 followers that got taken down. And I only was focusing on Facebook at that time. So I'm kicking myself in the pants, now growing Instagram, now growing YouTube, like using all these mediums. It's like the most powerful way that we have to share, but I don't fully trust them. Can you blame me? So what I've been saying for years that I want to do, instead of me like shelling out cash for ads, which are like maybe working, maybe not, like I want to actually do what I can to solve this financial problem that so many people are having. And so I created 2 tiers, and there are other opportunities to bring people in for yearly memberships where you can make like over $1,000 commission. This isn't like, I really wanted to be able to create a system where we have a healthy opportunity to be able to grow together. So what I see for it is I see a community where we are able to share. Like, I would so much rather you invite your friends and family and people that you love or that are in your network to be able to come into this whole system with us. And it's really beautiful, it's really profound, but that way you're getting paid. I'm not paying the big companies that who knows what they're doing. I'm not on board with Meta. I'm not on board with these tech things that are going on. But I believe in myself, and I believe in the channel and the gifts that I've been given to be able to help accelerate conscious presence and conscious understanding within our own networks. And so that's what I'm working towards doing, is being able to build a community and a network where we're all getting paid, we're all getting monthly recurring submission commissions. So as long as your friends, or as long as the people that join in through your affiliate link are participating, you're getting paid out every single month that they're on board. So it's a really, really, really beautiful thing. I've done what I can to be very generous with it. Like I said, to make sure that everybody is making a healthy living, or something that isn't just like, ooh, an incentive, but something that can, you know, pay. If at first you can pay your electrical bill, and I have a whole graph laid out of like, if you were to just enroll one person every, let's say, week, I think by like the 12th week or something, you're making over like $700 a month. Consistently, like recruiting. It keeps going. So I don't have those graphs built out yet digitally, so you can see the frame of what it is, but that's okay. They'll be here and available. So now that you understand the premise of it, you know that you're invited. Oh, it's not gonna let me add one. I was gonna try to add it, but it's Monad Society, MONAD Society.com, and maybe someone can type this in the comments, / all lowercase, Cosmic Bloom 11. That is the link to the landing page. It is all live. It is all ready to go. It is all ready for enrollment. So if you want to participate, you're welcome to do so. I haven't actually started putting the link in the description below because like I said, Spirit told me to hold. But now, through this tapping, Spirit's like, go for it. It's time. So, if you will, thank you for your presence. Thank you for your support. Let's go ahead. And I'm going to just kind of put a bubble inside of our bubble and go ahead and say, and I want you to know also that as you're participating in this with me, and for us and for our growing community, you're also welcome to add your own intentions of what it is that you're calling in, and know that as we are here together with each other today, that we are here to support all that is beautiful, all that is aligned with our absolute highest and golden best timeline. I'm going to go ahead and also call in the Seraphim Dragon Tribe to protect this space and to release any and all energies that are not aligned. Yosunakai ia wapu o aponakai, ia nia wa wapu utana ia usukunu uahaka, itana ia wa wapu onehi ia kai nia akana ia wa ukupua akane. Beautiful. So, as we call in divine truth and love into the sacred space, we invoke the highest possible healing for each and every supporter of the cosmic bloom and myself. We ask for the courage and compassion to speak and to hear from the purest form of self-love and forgiveness to all involved. So as we feel into this space and as we feel into this creation, I ask for the true and authentic activation of the people in this world right now, and the guardians and guides in dimensions outside of our third that are here to support the connection and the ascension of those people who are meant to join us on this journey, who know in their heart of hearts that this is a path of acceleration that they choose to and want to be on. That as we start to get the ball rolling, there will be bits of income coming in, and as we continue to grow, within 12 or 6 months, may the streams of income that are opening up for myself and for every other participant, and every participant that they bring in, be blessed by the higher selves of those who are here to be on the leading edge of consciousness. The light workers that know their own way home and that want to deeply and completely nurture and guide the pathway that is open for their own soul calling. Yonai iaka ana uapu ususu ana, itanaya uakua haana iaka, isu unu uakana haakaya, iana iakuapu uku sasana itaniawa. Asking for Ganesha to be here with us on this journey to clear all obstacles, all objections, all challenges, all resistance, so that the strength of the intuitive awareness, the intuitive yes, and the absolute perfection in divine synchronized timing, be called in to every individual that chooses to join. We are activated in our pure, divinely aligned presence. Anaya onaya anai ianaya o anaya o apu ukua haasayania itu anaka ukuapu akana ia uaka iani ia tukuna haasasani ia I uakuna ia kukuna uahaa I kana ia sasanai I tuanai ikua ia noa uapuana akanai I anai iaka uapu ususua haanai. Asking that the landing page and gateway that brings people in be easily found, divinely placed, and in some cases miraculously staged and spoken about, to honor the divine potential of all that is within, as we also call in support for each of our own divinely aligned golden timelines, allowing all that is meant to be connected in grace and ease, surrendering fully and completely all patterns of struggle, or self-sabotage, that we may be clear in the pathway of alignment. Transmuting the field of cosmic bloom of all participants and all intentions, transmuting it into the absolute beautiful, highest and best energetic flow that will allow for the transcendence of clear communication, integration to wholeness, and divine power to the beauty way within. And offering a deep, deep, deep vow of support to each and every one of you for participating with me in this journey. For joining into Cosmic Bloom. The support and well wishes is absolutely graciously received, and ultimately what I do need is some help getting the ball rolling. So the early adopters, the first ones coming in, there are some beautiful rewards and blessings coming through for you as well as we continue to build and grow this program and opportunity. So I invite you, I appreciate you, I would love for you to join and participate. Like I said, you can start sharing it with friends and start making commissions by the end of the day. It won't be sent by the end of the day, but you'll start banking in some coin by the end of the day, if that is something that you choose to do. So with that, my dear, I absolutely love you. Thank you so much for participating with me in this prayer request, in the support, and in this opportunity for all of us to grow together. So I invite you to take a few moments to just simply drink a glass of water and journal whatever it is that comes through for you. to be very present with your own heart and soul. That what is right and aligned will just simply fall into your lap, and the intuitive guidance will be so clear that there will be no wavering, and you will feel that fully aligned, absolute yes, with power and beauty. All right, my sweet love. As we go forth, may we integrate the healing and the lessons received with courage, self-love, and compassion. Our full connection here today is complete. And I'm so deeply grateful for each and every one of you for showing up here with me live. And thank you to those watching the replay as well. I guess we can say that Cosmic Bloom doors are officially open. We'll let the gentle trickle come in and see how it starts to manifest and grow in the next few months. I'm excited to bring you along the beginning of this journey with me, because this is a collaboration of us. I'm going to be sharing more about it and how it all grows, because who knows? Who knows where we'll all be in 6 months? I mean, wow. Wow. It's a good thing. Mwah. All right, my dears, I'll chat with you very soon. Ciao.